Hello, everyone. Debt-free advice Fridays. Hope you guys doing well. Give everybody a chance to get up in here, and I will paste that in the groups in the community area. 1 second here. We'll just wait for everybody else to get in here and hopefully get some questions. Because we're going only about an hour today. Okay, can't go really any longer than that. Paste that in the community. Bam. There we go. What's up, Aaron? What's up, NC Biggs? Retired. Honestly, NC, man, I went without insurance. I'm not recommending this, but I went without insurance for a little while. I did. I ain't gonna lie. That's how serious I was. I said, you know what? I take care of myself. I'm rarely ever sick because I take care of myself. So I don't really utilize the doctor's utilities like that. You know what I'm saying? So, but we could talk more about that offline. It's not really, I don't want people, because that's insurance. The reason why I don't really talk about insurance, because that's another fear program that is programmed into unconscious slaves. It's like, if I don't have a job, that means I won't have insurance, and I can't risk that because, blah, 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 right? When you could just take care of yourself and you'll realize you don't really need a doctor like that. That's just part of another program. Now, again, I'm not saying not have insurance. I'm just saying don't let it be a deciding factor for you to quit a job and go after your dreams. I just want to make sure that is clear. Okay. What's up, Bryce? Dave? No. Retired? No, I haven't exercised regularly in a long time, and the weather just have started heating back up, so I'm gonna get back into my regular routine. I usually go off my routine in the winter months. Now, I don't let myself totally go, but I'm not shredded like I am in the summer times. Okay, so it's not like that. I want to make sure people don't think that, that video you see. I want to make sure you think that I stay like that year round. Okay, that doesn't happen. All right. I know people think that, but that's not true. But the key is I know how to do it. Like, let me give you an example, okay? What many people don't know. When I want to get shredded, all I do is watch my sugar intake and watch my sodium intake. I keep it between 1,500 and 2,500 milligrams of sodium per day. Not salt, sodium. That automatically shreds me. Okay. On top of eating well, not saying I'm eating hamburgers and bad food. I mean, everybody knows what bad food is, but when I get into that mode, I don't look at food like everybody else does. Like, I want to go to a good place and eat. I mean, when I go out to dinner, yeah, but I'm talking about every night at home. No, I don't do that. I just fix a certain type of food and I just eat it. So today is first, let me introduce myself. My name is LJ Young, and I'm a 100% debt-free motivational speaker and personal finance educator. I help people become financially free by helping them mathematically see outside what I call the debt matrix. And the debt matrix is a place where everybody lives that believes in finance and things that go down in value: shoes, cars, furniture, laptops, cell phones, all that stuff, right? And wondering why they're living paycheck to paycheck. They just can't figure out why. That's where what we call unconscious and conscious slaves live. All right. Now, I lived there for the first 40 years of my life till I woke up, found Dave Ramsey. Dave Ramsey basically said, take the math that you learned in elementary school, apply it to your finances, and you'll always win with money. Basically, even better than that, what I learned from Dave Ramsey, basically, if you never ever break the laws of mathematics when it comes to your money, you will always win with money. Okay. Always remember that. If you always remember that, you will always win with money. Okay. Basically. Right? So once I got out of debt, I took what I learned from Dave Ramsey and I said to myself, I believe I can simplify this even more. And I can also easily prove it to people, the things I say with mathematics, right? So therefore came up with SMD, savings minus debt. I said, there's nothing can be more simple than that. Savings minus debt. You can't argue with it. You can't say it's prejudice. You can't say it favors anybody. You can't say that's a Republican statement or a Democrat. It's just savings minus debt. See how that's why I love it so much. You can't put in opinions because you cannot put opinions in mathematics. So that's what I did. So now I'm here and I've realized how much freedom there is, right? Once I got out of debt, I realized I didn't own myself. That's number one. I did not realize I did not own myself for the first 40 years of my life. I didn't even know it until I freed myself and I say, oh my God, I never owned myself because I lived in the negative my entire life. My whole entire adult for the first 40 years of my life, 18 to 40, I was in debt. So that means I never owned myself. Once I got out of debt, I was like, holy shit, this is what it's like to be free. Yes. Oh, I didn't have to be a millionaire to be free, right? Nope. I just had to get to zero. That's another thing. When I was in the debt matrix, trying to free myself, I didn't know which way was wrong, or there's so much noise. What you don't realize, there's so much noise in the debt matrix. There's so much, right? But once you get out of the debt matrix, you'll say, oh, that's just unconscious slave chitter chatter. You don't know what they're saying. Once you get out and you know you're free, it's a totally different world. And it's so simple. It's so simple. All you have to do is never break the laws of mathematics and you'll be free. You'll learn how to count to 10. It's not 1 through 10, it's 0 through 9. This is all code that you don't even know when you're. I would have never understood that. Once I got free, now I'm free. Now I'm helping people experience what true freedom is. Feel like open your eyes to look at, like, here's an example. There's 7 days in a week. Your employer owns 5 and you own 2. Something's wrong with that. But if you don't see that, there's something wrong with you. You are an unconscious slave where you can clearly see that your job owns more of the time in your life than you. You own 2 days, maybe, and your job is guaranteed 5 because that's the 40-hour work week, right? They own you. Now, I was talking to my girlfriend this morning about I was asking, I was like, I wonder how come more people don't come on the mic and kind of like tell me about their situation, and just kind of talk about it. She's like, Linnell, people are too worried about what other people may think about them if they get on the mic and talk about their finances. At first I thought it was about me. I thought, well, they know I'm here to help them. Why are they just scared, right? It's not you. It's the people that are going to be listening to a person divulging their finances. Even if, so crazy, even not on camera, even with a fake name. I want you guys to see and hear the power of the debt matrix. People are still nervous to tell me about their finances, even in anonymity. I don't know their real name. I don't see their face. They have a fake, an alias name, avatar name for their YouTube. I don't even know who they are, and they're still nervous about it. What does that tell you? That should tell you guys the power of this. This shit is real. Right now, I do these things because I want to do it for free. This is the only time you'll get this time for free from me. You have to pay for this advice, but you got to understand, this is life-changing advice. This is not something you're just going to take and do it for a few months and then you're going to go back to your old ways. You're not. Once you start this process, there is no going back. There is no return. You can't say, hey, fuck it, I'm going to go back into the debt matrix and be an unconscious slave again. You can't. That's a pre-warning. But over here, you're not going to want to go back. I promise you, you're not going to want to go back. It's not like you're going to miss it. You're not. Time in your life is the most important. This is what I teach you to own. That's my only goal. That's my only goal, to 100% own the time of my life. Now, in order to do that, I must make things happen. I must make things happen to own the time of my life. It just doesn't just happen because I asked for it. I have to put in work. But when you feel the freedom of not being owned, There's nothing, hey, there's nothing more motivating. Nothing. What's up, True Light? Erica says, what about life insurance as a debt-free family? What do you mean, what about it? I suggest it because life insurance will catapult your family into money quicker if you do it right, right? You have to, first of all, your family must be trained and understand how money really works. And what that means is you must be debt free in order to pass, because if you get life insurance and pass that money down to an unconscious slave, they're just going to spend it. That money's going nowhere. But if you raise them to understand that you'd finance nothing that goes down in value, financing things that go down in value is an absolute law breaking against the laws of mathematics. You broke the laws of mathematics if you finance phones, cars, shoes, tires, stereo systems. You're breaking the laws of mathematics every time you do that. So that's what they will spend it on if you lose your life and you have life insurance. But when you understand money, you'll get life insurance at a very young age, very young, because you know exactly how that money's going to go. Because you're going to teach your children this is how it works, not the way the majority of the American, but we need slaves. I want to make sure people understand that. I am not against slaves because they're slaves by choice. What's up, Nick? Retired says, LJ, how do I distance myself from slaves? Slaves are time wasters. You have to be direct with slaves. Unfortunately, you have to be direct because they won't understand why you're doing that. You have to be direct. You cannot beat around the bush with slaves. When they waste your time, you must tell them directly, because you got to remember, other slaves don't care about how other slaves waste the time in the life of another person. But when you understand how this works and you know for a fact the time in your life is the most valuable thing on earth, you tell a slave directly, do not waste my time. Do not. Hello, Alicia. Happy Friday. LJ Familia. Feels good to be debt free. Yes, it does. Welcome. Wealthy said, I had to catch the replay, but your last great show speaking about the owner's ledger. Appreciate that. Isn't that crazy? That's what it is. You think I saw that when I was wrapped up in the debt matrix, worried about my credit? I never looked at that thing like an owner's ledger. That's exactly what it is. And I try to tell everybody, I really want you, if you're new to the channel, I really want you to listen to this. The repeated saying that somebody's holding you back from becoming wealthy and somebody's holding you back from being rich, that's part of the program. That is not true. That's part of the program to make you believe somebody's holding you back. The only person that's holding you back is you. If you don't know how much debt you're in, you are holding back yourself. If you don't believe that you will ever pay off your student loans ever in your life, you are holding back you. You are doing it. Nobody outside of you is going to save you but you. Charles 2003 says, yep, true happened with my cousins and my uncle. When my uncle died, they were posted racks on IG and they were broke in 2 years. Exactly. That's why it doesn't matter. That's why, listen, and this is a hard truth to swallow for slaves. This is why they shove life insurance down your throat when you're in debt, because they know you have no money to leave anybody anything. They know whoever you leave that money to, they know they're going to spend it right back into the economy. That's what slaves do. So in the meantime, they sell you life insurance for the all those years they'll sell you like, and you pay premiums. Then when you die, they're going to pay out to whatever slave you decide to give that to, and guess what that slave's going to do? Put it right back into the economy. That's what slaves do. Slaves think it's the amount of money that you give a slave that makes a person rich. No, if you give a slave $1 million, you know what they're going to do? The only thing they're going to think, I can afford a bigger mortgage payment. Instead of a $1,500 mortgage payment, now I can afford a $7,000 a month mortgage payment. They're still slaves. That's slave mentality. Instead of saying, I have $1 million now, I'll go buy me a house in cash for half the price because I got cash, they go and finance a bigger one. See how that works? They always ask slaves that famous question too. Hey, what do you want to retire on? If you don't even know how much debt you're in, there is no way in mathematical equation in the world that will help you understand how much you need to retire. You don't even know how much debt you're in right now. You don't even know if you don't even know you're an unconscious slave right now, you will never ever know how much money you need to retire ever. That's mathematically impossible. If you want to get out of that, if you want to get out of this is where you can do it. You're not going to find another channel on YouTube that's going to help you out and help you out with simplicity. Do you know what 1 plus 1 is? 2? All right, come on. Let's go. That's all you need to know. 1 plus 1 equals 2. Never forget it. I don't care if you're mad that day. 1 plus 1 still equals 2. I don't care if you just had a bad breakup. 1 plus 1 equals 2. It still equals 2. If the whole world's been treating you bad, 1 plus 1 still equals 2. It doesn't matter. Doesn't even matter. Hey, it's Valentine's Day. Guess what? 1 plus 1 still equals 2. It still doesn't change. It doesn't care about holidays. That's how you live here. That's it. It's not really difficult. You want to get out of the debt matrix, now you can. This is how you do it. If you want the real advice, this is where you get it. But like I always says, it comes with a warning label, a very powerful one, because once you become free and you're no longer a slave, you're not going to be with a slave. So if you're with somebody, married with somebody, longtime boyfriend, girlfriend, if you wake up and realize that you're a slave and now you're going to do anything to not be a slave, if you're with a person that doesn't care about being a slave, that relationship is over. It's over. I don't care how many kids you have with them. I don't care how your life is, the kind of house you got, what kind of car you're driving. If you wake up and realize that all of that's an illusion, and you realize that, and you realize you're nothing more than a slave, that relationship is over. If you've been in a negative all your life, if you most of your life you've never even known how much debt you're in, I promise you, you have no idea what freedom feels like. You have no idea. This is what I'll do. I'll try my best to describe it to you. Okay. When I was in a debt matrix, there was this heavy feeling that I carried around with me every day that caused anxiety. I had to remember so many due dates, credit card due dates, power bill due dates, furniture due dates, tire due dates, all to pay all those bills on time. That's impossible. Every day wondering how is my money disappearing so fast? Insurance charges, financing things that go down in value, and a tax that you can't even see that is applied only to slaves. You can't see it. It's called phantom tax. It's real. Here, let me give you an example of phantom tax. All right, now you have to listen very closely so you can understand what I'm saying. If I walk on the car lot, say like there's a car on the car lot for $30,000. I walk on the car lot with cash and I say, I want that car. They're going to say, okay, sir. They're going to add up $30,000 plus tax. It's going to equal what, let's just say with tax, it came up to 35,000. Okay. I'm just keeping simple numbers. I give them cash of 35,000. They give me the car. I leave. When you walk on the car lot to finance a car, you walk on the car lot. You don't have the reason why you're financing the car because you don't have the money for the car. That's strike number one. Number two, if you don't have the money for the car, you also don't have money for the taxes. So not only are you paying taxes, you're financing taxes for 84 months. You're not just financing the car, you're financing the taxes too. That's called phantom tax for slaves. Only slaves finance taxes. Slaves walk around here, can't stand tax. Oh, taxes are keeping me down. They're the reason why I can't move into this neighborhood. You know why they're keeping you down? Because you're financing them. That's called a phantom tax. Taxes that slaves can't see. And you know why they can't see it? They're mathematically blind. And you're probably thinking, what do you mean mathematically blind? If you have a 30-year mortgage and you're calling yourself a homeowner, you're mathematically blind because what you're saying is not mathematically true. Do you see? If you go finance a car for 84 months, but you're telling all your friends that you got a deal on it, you got a deal on it for $30,000. It was on sale for $30,000. You didn't get a deal on anything. You financed the car for 84 months and you financed the taxes too. And you still telling everybody that you got a deal and you got it on sale. You're mathematically blind because that's not mathematically true. That's what I mean. Shout out to Retired for the $10 super chat. Thank you, sir. LJ, I appreciate your hard work and dedication to personal finance. This is what I love, man. This is my passion. I appreciate you too. I can't even turn this off. And you know, so crazy. When I do this, I know slaves will come over here and say, "Oh, well, if this is such the answer, how come you're not a multimillionaire?" I'm not a multimillionaire yet. And for slaves that even say that, that's the only time they'll listen if you're making a lot of money. If you're making a lot of money, then it will get their attention. But if you're not making a lot of money, it does. Hey, that's just the way slaves work. I don't care. If it takes me to become a multimillionaire for millions of other people to listen, okay, well, that's what I got to do. Well, it's a win-win for me. I'm not complaining about it. I'm just telling you guys right now, watch and see who's going to last 5 years from now, 10 years from now. Guess who's still going to be here? Me. All these gossip channels, man, they're all the same. They're all the same. They all do the same things. I want you to pay attention to. They all do the same thing. Now, again, I'm not knocking what they do. Okay, I'm not saying that it's bad. It's making money. People do it. I get it. But I think long term. I'm thinking well past 5 years, well past that. I'm thinking generational change. I want everything I do and say to withstand the hands of time. And you know it will, because math will never change. Math will never change. Let me tell you something. There will always be slaves until the day I die, because it must be that way. You can choose to be a slave or not. It's a choice. The system's not bad. It just, the financial system favors those who trust mathematics. That's the answer. Yeah, they need to see a Lamborghini to listen. And you know, so funny. I'm never going to do that ever. I'm never going to be in a Lamborghini. And I want to make sure this is clear. I'm never going to be in a Lamborghini to prove to anybody that I'm right. Because guess what? If I did that, guess who I'll be like? Just like all the other people that be in Lamborghinis talking to people. It would mix me up with them. And I don't want that shit. That's not going to happen. You're not going to see me talking at a table with Chanel bags and Gucci bags next to me as I'm talking. I'm never going to do shit like that. Never. Because it means nothing. Too many black YouTube channels talk about relationships and very few about personal finance and rebuilding wealth. Very few. And and I want you guys to understand something. That's a win-win for me. All these things are wins for me. I'm doing the exact opposite of the majority always. They're gonna see all these millions of people going this way, and then they're gonna see this one dude off to the other way. It's like, why is he going that way? Wait a minute, everything he's saying is mathematically true, but if it was true, millions of people would be doing it instead of thinking, wait a minute, millions of people are not doing it, but it is true. Dealerships can't make money without slaves. They need people to finance. Exactly. I always tell people this. If you guys knew what I knew, dealerships wouldn't exist. CarMax wouldn't be big the way you see how big CarMax is. CarMax wouldn't exist if you guys knew what I knew. They wouldn't exist. But again, I'm not knocking business. Just a second, I got to text my wife, tell her turn off that AC. It's getting cold. And when these guys, when they do relationship stuff and all that, hey, I want to make sure it's clear. What they're doing is legal and it's right, it's moral. It's nothing wrong with it. Okay, I'm just saying, if you want to be free, you better stop listening to that bullshit. It's bullshit. The only person that can change you is you. It doesn't matter what anybody listen. Okay, listen to me speak. You think I care about what anybody outside of me thinks about me? I don't care what they think, especially if they're slaves. Especially slaves. And I guarantee you about 96, 97% of the United States people in are slaves. You think I care what slaves think? I don't care what they think. I don't care what they say. I don't care what they, especially when they talk about money, I don't even hear them. Slaves like to see vertical doors. Quam says, if everyone bought cash a lot, these businesses would be out of business. Exactly. Now, and I want to make sure this is clear. I don't want that. I don't want the majority to know what I know. That would hurt me. I like being free. That's one thing about the system. You can choose to be free or you can imagine to be free. It's totally up to you. You don't have to be rich. You don't have to have $1 million. You don't. That's all a lie. That's a trick. Now I'm gonna keep posting this link. You don't have to get on camera. You can just use your voice, ask me a question. If you want to even ask me some questions, what it's like to live on this side of the game. You can ask questions. I can tell you anything you want to know. True Light says, I'm so glad I have zero debt. I'm 28, getting my mobile notary business off the ground, notarizing loan docs for slaves. Yep, it's all about business. Now, I mean, True Light, hey man, it's about business. But me personally, there's no way I could withhold myself by looking at these loan documents and notarizing them. I would blow up. I couldn't do it personally. I'm not saying it's a bad job. I'm just saying me personally. I'd be like, hey, before I notarize this, do you know what the fuck you're about to sign? See, I can't do that. I'm just here to know. I'm here to notarize stuff. I couldn't do it. What's up, Andre? What's going on, man? Exactly. They're going to make you rich. That's their job. It's slaves' job is to make people that understand about money rich. Yes, they do. They attract slaves like to the reason why drama channels are so big is because it allows slaves to get out of their lives temporarily for that hour or two and get into somebody else's bullshit. It's an escape. So when that show is over, guess what? They're back into their own lives where their lives is just like everybody else's, but they're not just talking about it. Gabriel says, what should people do right after getting debt free, LJ? Talk to me. Once you get debt free, you need to sign up. You need to sign up for my service. I will help you, guide you through the process. Okay. I will. I will connect you to the right people, other SMD family members, but I'm not going to send you to these other SMD family members until you go through me first, because they're going to be pissed at me that I sent them to you. And I can't have that. I've lost 35 pounds since Escape the Matrix. Hey, you want to get better health? Everything, man. I take daily CMOS. My whole game is changing up. I'm about to get shredded this summer. 51. I'm about to get shredded. So you guys can understand how when I just set my mind to it, that's it. I'm tired of people my age making young people think that when you get in your 50s that you're old and decrepit and you're walking with a walker and you can't have a 6-pack and 8-pack and a V and arms and back. That's a lie. That's a program. That's why I post that video. I want you guys to see what's possible if you just make your mind up. Nick says, I'm starting a fingerprinting business to help me get oh, wow. What's that? What's a fingerprinting business? What is that? My job is straight. Yep, exactly. Stay impartial. I would just blow up, man. I couldn't. I'd be like, oh my God. Oh my God. They'd be like, what's wrong with your notary guy? I don't know. Just ignore him. What's up, Mike? I second that statement, LJ. I appreciate your hard work and dedication to personal finance. Thank you, Mike. I appreciate you guys. Mike been down with me since day one. And I appreciate it, man. I will never outgrow the people that started with me, never outgrow them. They will always be able to contact me directly, all that. When I blow up, I want people to think they lying. If they say, "Oh yeah, man, I know LJ, man, I got his number right on my phone. I can call him anytime I want." They're gonna be like, "Bullshit! You can't just call him." Yep, he will. Hey, he will know who I am. Put it that way, Gabriel. Tony Robbins will know who I am, along with Dave Ramsey. All those guys, they'll know who I am. What's up, Nicer? 51 and shredded. Yep. Now this don't get me wrong, this pandemic has thrown everything off. I mean, gym time, but I luckily I live in a warm state that is starting to get warm now, and I get to work outside at the parks. It's all the same. It's really about food. It's not really the working out part, just trying to train your muscles and say, hey, I want you to wake up. Okay, I'm gonna start using you, blah, blah, blah. But it's really about that food, right? If you can't change your food habits, especially sugar and salt, if you can't change that, you're in trouble. Because think about it this way: our bodies are made of mostly what? Water. If you're taking in a lot of sodium, guess what? You're retaining that water. That's it. And everything. If you try to reduce you try to go between 1,500 and 2,500 milligrams of sodium per day, you're going to start seeing how much sodium is in all the food you eat. You're going to be like, God damn. Yes, it is. That's true. You watch. What diet are you going on? Nope, I don't do diets. I just eat a certain way. No diets. I just pay attention to sugar and sodium intake when I'm shredding. Those two alone will change the game for you, but it's not easy. This is why you are addicted to sugar and salt. You are addicted to it. You are addicted to sugar and salt. Believe that. Once I discovered that, and I got one time when I first discovered the sodium intake thing, I got too skinny. All right. I didn't really like that. I got down to like 185, 190. I mean, it looked it looked good when I had no clothes on, but when I put clothes on, it looked like I was just a skinny little punk. I was too skinny. So 200 is my ideal weight. 200. And in the wintertime, I get up to about 215, 220, but then my summertime weight is 205, 200, 205. That's my shredded weight. Nick says you go around fingerprinting clients who needed background checks. Okay, gotcha. Wow. Holy moly. Yeah, that has to be that way too. Yeah, COVID. You have to go down. Okay. I am 58 years old, and by June 1st will be the best shape of my life. Retirement is awesome. That is awesome, man. Ain't that crazy? The best shape of your life, but don't even trip. You start to go through, damn, I could have did this years ago, blah, blah, blah. Don't go through that phase. Just be happy that you're debt free. You're getting in shape right now. And you've found your identity of yourself, because you got to remember, a lot of people will go through their whole life working, and their title of their job has become them, right? That's why you always hear people that die shortly after they retire, because once they retire, that title is stripped from them. Now they wonder who they are. That now they don't even know who they are without that title. Who is this person? And then they find, if they discover that at the end, towards the end of their life, it might send them into a depression, because people really don't understand how they tie themselves to a job title that is owned by their employer. They don't even really understand that. They go through their whole life talking about they're the systems engineer or the head blockety blah person, until one day that's it. Then the title's gone. Now who are you? Nobody. Yep. Keep lean physique, monitor the calories. The simple slaves can't prioritize their food, their health. And you gotta, if you want to do this, the best way you have to change the way you look at food. You have to. You got to relook at everything. Who says you have to eat 3 times a day, 7 days a week? Who says that? Nobody says that. You say it if you want to do that. Maybe you want to eat 5 days a week. Maybe you don't want to eat 7. Maybe you want to eat 6 days a week. Maybe you want to eat 2 times a day. That's okay. You decide how much you want to eat. You don't let something outside of you tell you how much you're supposed to eat. Nick says 125 to 500 per client, depending on the amount. Wow. Of cards you get paid up front. Wow. Wow. That's crazy. I like that. I've never heard of that fingerprinting business. Man. All right, Nick. Remember, man, you promised me $1 million. Okay. When you have 10, you promised me $1 million. Don't think I'm going to forget. Especially at your age, it's clear that you're about to be a multimillionaire. You have to burn more calories than you consume. Yeah, that's like a natural, you know what I'm saying? That's like a natural assumption. I have to eat, if I want to lose weight, I have to eat less, period, right? But people really don't understand their addiction to sugar and salt. You get a hold of that. I'm not saying none of that. I'm saying control it. Your whole body will change just by that. But good luck, because you're going to go through withdrawals, just like drugs. It's probably no different than coming off of some crack. You ever go watch Intervention and see them coming off of meth? You try to stop salt and sugar. If you're addicted to it, good luck. And I could sit right here and say, I achieved that. But now I haven't been so strict. Now I have to wing myself off of sodium. I have to. I don't want you to confuse salt and sodium. Sodium's in salt. I'm talking about sodium. I'm going from obesity to fit now that I'm retired. That's what you do. Congratulations. Moderation is important in everything. Sure is. What's the email? What's the email, Nick? For what? For your your fingerprinting business. Okay. True Light says, I'm gonna shoot you an email. Oh, talking. Uncle says, can you recommend a method to reduce sugar and salt? I would say make sure you get a scale. Get a food scale in your kitchen. I have a food scale. I use it all the time. When I make my coffee, I put in a certain amount of cream. Believe it or not, it's automatic When I make my coffee in the morning, it's automatic. I don't really even think about it. I pull out the scale, put my coffee in. I put in 4 ounces of blah blah blah, 15 milliliters of creamer or something, and about 5 milliliters of some other sweetener, and I'm good. I just don't heavy-handed pour it in there. I never do that. Get a food scale. So what I do is I measure, I cook like I have, what is that? I use a particular type of seasoning that I found that's at Walmart. Oh, I forgot the name of it. I'll think of it later. But anyway, it helps me wean myself off of salt. Okay. And that's not really that tough, but I want you to understand salt is very addictive. So it's very hard to just stop. You can't just stop because you're like, oh, this food's nasty. But what it also will do, if you wean yourself off of food like that's really salty, you'll notice that the majority of bad food is really salty and filled with sodium, and then you'll naturally have to stop eating it. That's how it works. Antonio says, I'm 260. I want to get down to 215. You can do that. Just pay close attention to you gotta flip over the package, whatever you're about to eat, and just say, okay. And you gotta make sure you pay attention to the amount that they're talking about for the label, because sometimes they'll trick you. It'll be like a 10-ounce can, but the calories and stuff listed on the label, they're talking about 2 ounces of that can. You see what I'm saying? You got to pay attention to that. And then you got to say, okay, there's 8, so it's 2 times 2 times 2, and you times it, whatever, right? Whatever times 4, whatever is the type of the amount of sodium and sugar and calories and all that stuff in there. You got to pay close attention. Okay, gun license. Okay, yep, yep. It's always like that for us natural. We look small in t-shirts and then big with them off. Exactly. See, I personally didn't like that look, man. I've always been a big dude, and when I was getting those looks like I was skinny, I don't like that. I did not like that. So I got a little more weight on me. It looked good with my shirt off. Don't get me wrong. It was nice, but I just like a little more weight. How often do you eat junk when getting in shape? I'll reward myself every Friday or Saturday with some junk food because I don't want you guys thinking I stopped. Now, I don't really eat a lot of junk food, but I'll reward myself on a Friday or Saturday because remember, you're grown now. You can go eat fast food every single day if you want, but when I eat right the whole week, it just makes that fast food taste that much better. But then after a while, after rewarding yourself every Friday, I really just stopped because Friday seemed to be coming faster and faster and faster. And I didn't really want to eat that kind of food so often. So it would change every to 2 weeks, and then it would change to every 3 weeks, and then eventually it would just stop. Because when you stop, you got to remember you're hooked on that stuff. You can't just stop. You're just doing yourself bad. So if you ate it, 3 days a week, break it down to 2. You got to trick your body. You can't, because if you just stop, you're gonna trick your body. Your body's gonna say, "Hey, man, we usually pull in a McDonald's right here at this time." True says you got to look at food objectively. It is going to benefit. Is it going to benefit me or not? Can't have short term gratification. That's true. We've been trained to have feelings about when it comes to food. That's why commercials are the way they are. You ever notice that everybody's happy and joyful when they're eating food? That's part of what they're trying to make you. They're trying to help you attach your feelings to the food you eat. Do you have any resources or book recommendations for debt-free first-time home buyers? Thank you for everything you do. I see you as a mentor. I appreciate it, Erica. I do not, but I am going to write my perspective for first-time home buyers. Like I keep it really simple, like this. For first-time home buyers, this is my recommendation. You go into the biggest bank in your city or state or whatever. You walk into the bank and you say, "Hey, what is the best absolute number one mortgage you have to offer at this bank if you're going to get a mortgage? What do you offer? I want the best. I will only accept the best one in the bank. I really only want the best one in the United States of America, right? I only will accept that one. The bank is going to say, "Oh, you want that one? Here are the requirements for that type of mortgage. You're going to take those requirements. You're going to take them home. You're going to go over them with yourself or your spouse or whatever, And if you don't meet those requirements, you're not ready for a home. Once you meet those requirements, then and only then are you ready for your first mortgage, because that will be your only mortgage. So I appreciate that, Erica, saying I'm a mentor. I really keep it simple for you. It's a really simple answer. Just only the best. That's it. Don't fall for the first time home buyer programs. Those are for slaves. Okay. If you fall for the first time home buyer program, you are a slave. It's not a benefit. I know it sounds like a benefit. It's not. I'm a first time home buyer. What's that mean? I have no money. That's what it means. That's what first time home buyer programs, that's what they say. I have no money, but yet I still want a house. Yeah, I mean, I'm not consistent, but now that the weather's warming up. So what I do is I stop eating at 8 o'clock, and I don't eat again till 12 o'clock the next day. And so I eat between those hours, between 12 and 8. And then after 8 o'clock, no matter if I forget to eat or not, I don't eat after 8. So my body understands. And that's going to take a minute. That you have to train your body to understand this. It's not just going to agree with it, right? You got to, after about 20, they say about takes about 30 days to develop a habit. And that shit is true. Take about 30 days, and then your body will finally accept that whatever you decided you're going to do, this is it. And then it's going to leave you alone. Yep, 1 million. You're going to have 10. You give me one, you still going to have 9 million as a debt-free person. I think you can survive on 9 million. LJ said, I walked 12,000 steps, 6 days. Wow, that's cool. Monitor your energy before and after eating. Listen to your body. Yes, exactly. I always pay attention to the obvious. I said this the other day. I said we have to sleep. Our bodies require sleep. Whatever it needs to do at night, it requires us to be unconscious. That means it doesn't want any kind of any kind of activity going on in your brain. It even puts a movie on it. They just like at the dentist's office, they put that's called dreaming. They put our bodies put a movie on for us and say, "Hey, watch this movie while I do what I need to do in the body." In the body, right? That's what I think. That's what dreams are for. Hey, watch this movie while I do what I do. Now, if you're eating all through the night, that's going to take away from whatever it has to do at night. That's how I look at it. It's something pretty important that it needs us to be unconscious, and I don't want to disrupt the energy that it needs to. I mean, it needs so much energy that it needs brain activity down to a minimum. That's some serious energy. Yes, I have a food scale, and I burn through batteries because I use it. Yes, it is. Sugar's 10 times more powerful than cocaine, but since it's legal, people don't look at it that way. I know McDonald's French fries are good, man. And I'm not saying don't eat them. I'm saying reward yourself every Friday. If you make it through the week eating good, reward yourself, man. Retired says LJ, when I was a slave, I ate food. Oh, I ate at food trucks for lunch. Oh, man. Ooh, I can only imagine. What's up, Yellow J? LJ, you hit your strokes with last Saturday's live with the math teacher firing on. Oh, man, that was nice, wasn't that? That was a good one. That was a good one, man. That was a real good one. Sure was. And he was hesitant to even say what he was, but I'm glad he did, because if if any other math teachers hear him, they will be like, wow, holy crap. Once you buy a house, LJ, your life will change. Yes, it is. It's going to change forever. Once I own where I live, oh man, you guys think I'm bad now? Oh, nobody will be able to tell me shit. With a paid off house and debt free, oh, I'm telling you. I'd be like, I don't care what kind of investment you got. I have a paid off house. I have a paid off house. You know how many slaves that's gonna shut up? They're gonna be like, oh man, yeah, I ain't got you got bills and student loans. I got a paid off house and I'm debt free. What's up, Cosmic? What's up, Mingoism? Me and my wife walked 48 flights of stairs over the weekend. Cool. See how you naturally want to start getting in shape because you realize once you're debt free, you realize the time in your life is the most valuable thing on earth, and you need your body to walk around the earth to enjoy this time. Without your body, you can't do anything. That's and before I was debt free, let me tell you guys something. Before I was debt free, I already knew that. I already knew to myself when I was a young age, I will never be obese. That's what I said to myself starting at a very young age. I will never be obese. Never, and I never have ever. I've been overweight. I've never been obese. And I never and as I got older, people in the debt matrix say, "Oh man, as you get older, your body breaks down." In my mind, I said, "No, that's not true. That's not true. That's not true." And I defy everything by doing the opposite of the majority always. That video that I posted up, me doing the 1 minute video that I posted up there. Sometimes I watch my own videos. I'll be like, wow, how did I do that? Because I remember watching somebody else do the same things I'm doing in that video. I used to always say to myself, one day I'm gonna be able to do that. I'm gonna do it. I don't know how to do muscle ups. I don't know how to do push-ups with my feet in the air doing push-ups on the bar. I said one day I'm gonna do it. And guess what? Now I made a video. That's just a piece of my videos. You guys haven't seen all my videos. If you go to Facebook, go to Food Ain't My Daddy. Food Ain't My Daddy. Food Ain't My Daddy. That's where most of my videos are. And what is that? LJ Young 69. Let me post this too. 1 second. Let me do this. I got more videos over there. 1 second. You guys some more of my videos you guys can watch. Here's some more of my videos. You can go to this other channel. When I started working out, I started posting my workout videos over there. So you guys can check those out. Oh, let's see. E-Man says those food trucks add up. They sure do. I'm about to spend $12 on for Red Bulls and chips. $12. And he says he's about to do it. And know he's about to do it. That's how they make money. That's why you better open up a business. Because people spend $12 on Red Bull and chips. So that tells you should be opening up a business. LJ jump rope is a girl. Oh yeah, that's a wonderful workout. My girl's she really knows how to jump rope, really, really good. So she's helping me get into jump roping. I read a book in prison by a man named Kevin Trudeau. It was called The Weight Loss Cure. It was talked about the food industry and how they add chemicals to food to get you addicted. Of course, I believe all that. I don't even now. I know people really don't understand, but once you get out of debt matrix, you got to understand how to keep slaves in line. Okay, it's crystal clear. It's crystal clear how they do it. Fast food, bad food. It's totally up to you. You don't. If you don't know fast food is bad for you, that's your problem. They can list all the calories in the world up on the menus. People don't care about that. They want the food, and if it don't taste good, they don't want it. You need to add calories. Slaves don't have time to cook. That's why the fast food industry is blowing up. And guess what? You guys don't even see this. The obesity level is about to blow through the fucking roof. With all this home food delivery, slaves don't. Not only were slaves lazy enough to have to go through a drive-through, they didn't even have to get out of the car. Now they don't even have to leave their house. If you want to get into a business, figure out how you're going to make money from all the obesity levels that's going to break through the roof. Whatever, that's the money maker. You don't have to leave the house to get your groceries no more. You don't have to leave the house to get your food. Now everybody's going to be working from home. That means they're not going to be doing anything, going anywhere. You either going to create a business that's going to take advantage of this, or guess what? You're going to be one of the workers that's going to be making all these multiple deliveries from all these different companies. You got Uber, you got all these the delivery of packages and the food, people picking up the fast food. They pay people to pick up the fast food to bring it to you, and they even pay more for the delivery of the food than more than it cost itself. You guys better get out here and figure out something. Can you get shredded in 3 months? Oh yeah, that's easy. Yeah, 3 months is easy. Yeah, that's real easy. But that's dead serious. You know what I'm saying? That's dead serious. Like monosodium. Oh yeah, all those big words. Yeah, you see all that stuff on there. High fructose corn syrup. It shows how business is. Yeah, it's true. All they do is make them those big words right there, and people slaves don't take the time to translate those words, so they still follow the law and the rules. Hey, you must list your ingredients. Okay, they say cool. We'll just list it as the big name, not just the common name. And slaves won't bother to look up the definition of those words. LJ, how much protein do you eat per day? Right now I'm not really monitoring it. The like I'm starting March 1st, put it that way, because the weather's warmed up now. So basically I'm starting March 1st. I'm going to be monitoring that stuff. So what I normally do is have a shake, 8-ounce shake every day of protein, of a protein shake in the morning, right? And that's even before I actually eat solid food uh by 12. I'll still drink a shake though. And then I'll start out walking because my body hasn't really been in that mode during these times. So I got to ease myself into, because don't get me wrong, I am older. So it is a requirement for me to wake my body up and say, hey, muscles, I'm about to start using you. So you got to start getting used to it. I don't want you popping loose or nothing like that. What's up, LJ? You ever read The Richest Man No, I haven't read that book. No, people keep recommending that book. I haven't read that. Mingoism says, I just like your page on Facebook. Food. Oh, I just like your food. Ain't my daddy page. Appreciate that. Yeah. I don't really talk about that. But that was my first venture. I was going to show people, especially dudes my age, that it's never too late to change your body to make it look the way you want to make it look. And to help dudes understand that you, even though you're with a woman that loves you, right? Never forget that she's still a woman and she still has natural instinctual feelings, right? She might not act on it or say on it, but don't get me wrong, she's gonna look at a guy that might have a nice whatever she like, because women like different things: chest, arms, legs, calves, whatever, right? And she's gonna naturally look, but be that for her. You know what I'm saying? It's a win-win. You get to be in better health and you get to look like what she's looking for, and she loves you. You know what I'm saying? I will never be overweight again. Yeah, never. I, I've never been overweight. I've been heavy. I've never been overweight. Right. I just never allowed myself to do that. And so once you make it up in your mind, just like you said it just now, it will never happen. So here's the link. Oh no, not that link. I'm sorry. The link to talk to me. That's my page link. If you guys want to check out some videos, here's the link if you want to ask me a question. And even when I go out to eat, like right now, I'm used to drinking water. The only thing I drink is water. I might have some orange juice every now and then with breakfast, but outside of that, all I drink is water. So when I go out to eat, they say, "Hey, what would you like to drink?" I just say water. Everything is water. I'm just used to drink. I drink distilled water too. I don't even drink regular water. I drink distilled water. Notice LJ says the opposite of everyone else on YouTube about the most topics. Yeah, the opposite. I do the opposite of everyone. That's just how I've naturally been. Even as a kid, I was always I was always picked for teams. Uh, I never will say I was always the best, but I was always part of the group of the best. I was always that dude, you know. And for me, I always made sure I was that person, and I had to be an individual. Now, I wasn't like everybody. I was like them, but in my own way. See what I'm saying? I was I wasn't not only was I was the not the best, but I was part of the best. Like when one day I am going to be compared to Tony Robbins, Dave Ramsey. You know what I'm saying? I am. I'm be talked about when those people are talked about. The audiobook for The Richest Man in Babylon is on YouTube. Okay, I'll check that out. I will check that out for sure. Food delivery is a good business model depending on your area, and if you get a competitive advantage in a big city, you have to compete with Uber Eats and DoorDash. Yeah, you got to be. You know, I wouldn't. I wouldn't think like that, like saying I have to compete against Uber, because you got to remember, even though Uber and as big as what they are, I guarantee you, they never sit back and say, we're so big, nobody can beat us. Nobody can pass us, right? Because you think about it. You remember at one time, Microsoft was the biggest, right? And then all of a sudden, Apple comes along and just passes them up. I remember when MySpace, the website was big, right? It was big. You thought, man, MySpace is huge. Then along came Facebook. I guarantee you, Facebook doesn't say, hey, we're so big that nobody can topple us. No, they're always evolving. Everything evolves. Never think that your way is always going to be the best way. But the easiest way to stay ahead of everybody, always be unique. This is why this gift that I'm talking to you guys, this is very unique, and I can prove it. Millions of people in mortgage loan debt, not me. Millions of people in car loan debt, not me. Millions of people in student loan debt, not me. Millions of people in credit card debt, not me. See, that's how I'm different. Surely someone has a question today. Don't be shy. You know what? And I was saying this earlier. My girlfriend and I was talking about this, and she was like, you know what? They're not scared to talk to you, LJ. They're scared to be judged by the people listening. And I thought to myself, people really are nervous about what other people, but what people don't understand, that have been bad with money. What you don't understand is that those other people that are talking about you negatively, they are too. But the difference between you and them, you understand that, you realize it. They don't. By simply admitting to yourself, I'm bad with money, that's step one. Just because everybody around you seem like they're not, that's not true. Retired says LJ, 180 pounds with 50% body fat is my goal. Wow, okay. Like I said, my goal is between 200, 205. I look my best at that weight, you know. But I'm telling you, once you get a hold of your sodium, you'll get a hold of your shape, and you'll be like, oh, that's what I want to look like. Oh, okay, that's it. That's the look. And it all counts. You got to remember, everybody's body image is different. Okay, your body image might be different. Just because I'm shredded doesn't mean my body is better than yours, because you got to remember, as a man, women are attracted to different types of bodies. Some women don't like my type of body, right? They want a little like me. Like when I get in shape, every time I met a woman, this is what they would always say to me: oh, I thought you wanted somebody just as in shape as you. No, I don't want a woman just as in shape as me. I want a woman. not out of shape, but in shape, but still thick. You know what I'm saying? I'm about 5'11", 6 foot, right there, right in between there. The knowledge I have for you guys today, man, will change your life in every single way, every way. You don't have to be. It's. I'm telling you, it's like a superpower. If you're embarrassed about your money right now, you learn what I'm teaching you. You'll teach it. Learn from what I teach you. You'll be a god in the finance world. Nobody will be able to fuck with you. Nobody, especially slaves. Nobody. And you notice I don't really curse when I talk, right? But when you hear me use curse words, I want you to understand I'm not using that as filler words. I'm using that to say what I mean. Just like I said, between 5'11", 6 foot, something like that. True Light says, yeah, I try to keep the sodium moderate, but if I'm sweating a lot, I don't worry about it too much. Depends on the activity. Yeah, that's true. It does depend on activity level because you sweat out. But when I'm shredding, I combine that. I watch my sodium and I sweat, right? So it's gonna get out of my body twice as fast. But if you pay attention to the sodium amount, just what you should do. Don't even just write down the sodium content of everything you eat in one day. Okay. I'm saying that I keep mine at 2,500 milligrams per day. Now, keep track of the sodium content on in every single thing that you eat, and make sure you read the label properly. Just because you drink a 10 ounce on the label, it might be talking about 2 ounces of the 10-ounce drink you're about to drink. It might be talking about two of those. So you got to times that by 3 or 4 to make sure you add up the right amount, so you'll know. Because especially if you're a pop drinker, if you add up the sodium amount in pop, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. That's why I don't buy pop and bring it home in 2 liters and stuff. I don't do that. None of that. Do you think investing in real estate can lead to financial freedom, or investing in stocks and bonds while having a business is better? Well, it counts on if you're in debt. Are you asking from a debt-free perspective? Are you at zero? If you're at zero, yes. If you're not at zero, no. Because in order to be free, you have to create a business. You have to. You have to create a business. And I don't really care how you do it, but as long as you do it from a debt-free perspective. Am I not saying get business loans? I'm not even saying that. I'm saying you must be personally at zero before starting a business. Because if you are not at zero, nothing in your financial life can make mathematical sense. That would break all the laws of mathematics if you did that. Nothing can make mathematical sense if zero doesn't start with you. Always remember that. If you never forget that, you will be rich. You will be on your way to becoming wealthy, because I want to make sure there's a distinct difference between wealthy and rich. Wealthy people own the time in their lives. Just because you're rich, most people still work, their business owns them. Just because a person owns a business doesn't mean their business doesn't own them. Trust me. You'll see these people, hey man, never sleep, work your business 7 days a week. Hell no, I'm never doing that. You think I'm a trade and work 7 days a week just because it's for myself? No, that means the business owns me. If that was true, if you hear all these slaves talking that shit, right? All you got to do is look at Chick-fil-A. Look at Chick-fil-A. They don't open on Sundays. Now, forget it just because they're religious, okay? Whatever, the religion requires that, whatever. That's telling you that they don't care about the money. They got so much money, they don't care that they don't have to work 7 days a week. That's what they chose to, because they have money. Every time you drive by Chick-fil-A, it's packed. They take off Sunday. People think, oh man, they're missing all that Sunday money. No, you are missing that money on Sunday, not them. Can you also be free to invest in the stock market? Yeah. I put it this way. Once you're debt free, you will truly see how the stock market works. So let me give you an example, okay? So you can understand, so you can see this. In my this is what I believe. I believe about 96% of people that are in the United States are in debt. Okay, that's my belief, right? I know it's they think it's lower, but I think it's in the high 90s now. Now think about it. Out of 96% people that are in debt, think the percentage of people, if they're in debt, that means they have no money. That means they live below zero. Whether they notice or not, the laws of mathematics don't care. Okay. That's what it is. Now imagine the percentage of people out of that large percentage that are investing in the stock market with money that doesn't exist. They have no money. So the majority of people that are investing in the stock market are slaves. That's by default. Okay, that's what mathematics say. By default, the majority of people investing in the stock market are slaves. If you get out of debt and you start investing in the stock market, you'll know exactly how to do it. Just watch Society and Slaves. That's all you got to see what they're doing. Just see what they're doing in society. Just watch what they do. That's it. And then you invest then you invest accordingly. This is how and you don't even really have to know about investing. This is what you do. You go find a person that knows about investing and you ask them, let me see your personal credit report first. They're going to ask why. You're going to say, I want to make sure your personal credit report looks like my personal credit report. It will if your personal credit report looks like mine, you will know exactly how I want you to invest in the stock market. I don't have to tell you what to do. That person that invests in the stock market who is debt free, that's the motherfucker you want to find. Good luck with finding that person, he or she. Not it's him or her. It doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter, man or woman. But if you find that debt free investment stockbroker, that's the person you want because they will invest in the stock market. What you don't have to tell them what to do; they know exactly what to do. Slaves are the stock. You think the stock market really is there for whatever they believe it is? No, they are the stock. They don't know it. The stock market really it doesn't exist. It's just made up a bunch of just stuff rich people name. That's it. Wealthy people, excuse me, wealthy people name. It doesn't exist. Slaves are the stock. It wouldn't exist without you, slaves. Without you believing that you're investing in with money that doesn't exist, the stock is you. LJ, my slave friend works 6 to 7 days a week. That's a 100% slave. Hell to the no. Bam. See that? Right in your face, slaves. Translation, you are the stock, slaves. You. You want to see who owns you? Log into your credit report. Take a look at a list of all your owners. Those are the people that own a piece of you. Congratulations. For the first time in my adult working life, I am in less debt than my annual salary. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. Often higher earner, unconscious slave equal debts over annual salary. Ain't that the truth? And you see that statement right there, Yellow J? Millions of people will never even understand what you just said right there. They won't even understand that statement. They'll be like, what is Yellow J talking about? That dude's crazy. What's he talking about? Won't even get it. Let me say that one more time, okay? For the first time in my adult working life, I am in less debt than my annual salary. This is a six-figure earner, people. So you guys understand. I don't want you guys thinking this is a $30,000 a year and this is a six-figure earner, people. Often higher earner, unconscious slave equal debts over annual salary. That should tell you it doesn't matter how much money you make. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Andre says they mainly invest in debt. Yes. Again, I am not against slaves. Slaves are our friends. There's no need. Listen, and this is serious, okay? There's absolutely you don't take this information that I teach you and then you do scams on slaves. You know that's not necessary. There's no reason to scam or steal or lie to slaves when they're doing what they're doing voluntarily. There's absolutely no reason to steal from them, do anything illegally financial to them. You know that's not, you don't need to. Everything is legal. Everything. And once you get out of debt matrix, you will understand why everything must be legal. Period. Because there's no need to cheat it. There's millions of slaves. 96% of Americans are in debt. There's no reason for that. Funny how the statement is celebratory. Only my aliens understand. Exactly. Only my alien friends understand. That's okay. You know, when I hear stuff like that, and I know in reality that that's the case, that just tells me how few of us there are. That just it just reassures that how much room is over here to be as big as you want to be anything you want to be. Stocks are equity positions which are subordinate to the debt owners. See, I got to look all that stuff up. You guys see where I'm at. I'm still new. Don't get me wrong. I'm still new. I don't know what it's like to what I have to do when millions of dollars start coming in. I'm sure that's a whole different something, but I will know how to pick the right people to guide me through. I will know how to pick those people. Hey, I got this much coming in. What do I need to do to make sure it's all legit too? Don't hide anything. You mess up, yeah, you go to them. Hey, check this out. Forgot that, didn't do that. This was that, blah, 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 whatever. It's all, hey, check this out, Gabriel. It's all monopoly money. It's not, paper money's not real. They tell you right on the government website. They tell you that. Take out the $100 bill out of your pocket. Go to the government website. I want you to see how much they made for that. How much they cost them to make that. It cost them less than 20 cents to make that $100 bill that you're holding. Okay, now you're going to look at it. You're going to be confused. That's a glitch in the debt matrix. You're going to be like, wait a minute, it costs less than 20 cents to make, but I believe it's 100. Yeah, that's a glitch. That's a glitch in the debt matrix. You're going to be like, wait a minute, it cost them that, but I believe it's this. That doesn't make sense. No, it doesn't. But then this is going to confuse you even more. They're telling you right on the website. Why are they telling you out in the open on the website? Because you're supposed to know that. If you get out of the debt matrix, you'll understand what it really is. They're saying, hey, it didn't really cost us $100 to make that. It cost us 20 cents. The boss says, I got one owner mortgage, LJ, and I ain't running like Kuta the slave. Patrol always just brings you back. I'm buying my freedom. I need my walking papers. I heard that, man. I heard that. And you know what? When you do that, when you pay that house off, man, you're going to be different than millions. Think of all the millions of people in mortgage loan debt. All that will have nothing to, trillions of mortgage loan debt. None of that will have anything to do with you and everybody in mortgage debt. you will be financially ahead of them all just by paying off your house. Just by paying off your house, you'll be financially ahead of them all. You will never have rent or mortgage again for the rest of your life. Sure ain't money. Commodity money for the last 6,000 years, gold and silver. Yep. What was that? What's that called? Intrinsic, right? Intrinsic value. Gold and silver has intrinsic value. But even, let me tell you something, slaves. Let me tell you something, slaves. This is important. Even gold and silver are worth nothing to you. All right. Now I'm gonna give you an example so you can understand what I mean. Well, you're probably thinking, what do you mean? Now these are glitches in the debt matrix, okay? Now say like you had $2,000 worth of gold in your hand, holding it. $2,000 worth of gold in your hand, right? Open up your calculator, all right? And say like you had $50,000 in student loan debt. Now I'm keeping these numbers simple so you guys can understand. You guys input your own numbers because you all have them. In your calculator, I want you to put in 2,000 minus 50,000 and then hit equal. That's going to be negative 48,000. According to the calculator, you don't have any gold in your hand because you are negative $48,000 in the hole. So gold doesn't exist for you. Now, if you hand it to me, right, and I put in my calculator, I put 2,000 minus no student loan debt, hit equal. Guess what I'm gonna have? $2,000 worth of gold in my hand. I give it back to you. It doesn't exist. You give it, even though we both can see it, and we're handing it back and forth to each other's hands. As soon as I hand it back to you, it disappears. You hand it to me, it reappears. Do you get it? I feel it's better to own assets than to have cash. Is that true? Again, if you're asking me from a zero perspective, are you in debt or not? Antonio, are you in debt? Are you debt free or are you in debt? Retired says, LJ, I went out on a date. She said she has $1 million net worth, but has $1,800 credit balance. I told her to pay off the balance, and she gave me a weird look. That was our last date. She said she had $1 million. And see, that can mean anything. When somebody says they have an X amount of net worth, I don't know if they're talking from a debt perspective or a debt-free perspective. That's very important. Cash is necessary part of your portfolio. I'm sure it is. I'm debt free for now. What does that mean? Debt free for now. What's that mean? Now, everything you're saying, Antonio, if you're wanting to do, when you're debt free, you can do pretty much anything you want to do because you're debt free. And I'm not against business loans. All I'm saying is that zero must always start with you. That's the only thing I'm saying. I don't want you, and I'm not saying not invest in Bitcoin, because once you're debt free, you'll know exactly how to invest in Bitcoin. If 96% of Americans are in debt, that means they have no money. So who do you think the majority are investing in Bitcoin? Slaves. Slaves are investing in Bitcoin because they have no money. Yeah, with a flying saucer, Gabriel. Have you ever seen it? I've never seen it. It's probably invisible. He's probably been to each one of our houses and we don't know it. One second, I gotta text my girlfriend because I've been on for an hour 23 minutes. All right, let's see here because I might have to get off here in a few minutes. Let's see. It's crazy how everything you taught us is so helpful than what our parents are taught. You know what? And I want you to understand something. Remember, don't Don't try not to blame your parents either, because you got to remember they didn't know either. The matrix is powerful. It doesn't care who they are. It doesn't care if it's our parents, our brother, sister, cousins. We think that because, and it's not even saying, I'm not even saying that your parents did something bad to you. They just didn't know. My mom didn't know. I still had a wonderful life, but my mom didn't know. She didn't know. My dad didn't know. They didn't know. I know. Now that I'm out of the debt matrix and I'm debt free, I can look at my parents and clearly understand that they didn't know they were part of the debt matrix. Retire says, I suggest having at least 6 months of monthly expenses in cash. And, I put it this way: when you're debt free, I don't really look at it like 6 months of reserves, a year of reserves. Just have money. Okay, it's pretty. You know your expenses. You know what you're spending. It's pretty crazy. Cash is priceless if you have none, and worthless if you have too much. It's As a debt free person, you got to understand money. It really doesn't exist. Okay, it's just something that make slaves believe in. Period. 3 decades. Oh, more than that. More than 3 decades, Gabriel. Some people live their whole life in debt. Imagine this. Imagine this. Imagine how many degrees, like paper degrees, are on people's walls that they don't even own. They don't even own the paper in those frames, and they don't even know it. If you have a degree up on your wall in your office and wherever you have it on your desk or at work, whatever, right? And you have student loans, you don't even own that piece of paper in that frame that you got it. You don't even own it. That's just a billboard for that college. You are advertising for them because you don't own that paper. For the record, I was 5 times my annual salary in debt when I was at the height of my unconsciousness. Now I want you guys to listen what Yellow Jay is saying. And the reason why he's probably even saying this because he's free. Okay. It's not a when you're in debt and you're like that 5 times your annual salary, you're almost ashamed to tell the world that you're that deep in debt, right? You don't really tell the world things like that. But once you become free and you're no longer a slave, because it starts mentally, you might be working your way out of slavery, but your brain is already free. Okay, that's where it starts. Once that happens, once you get out of debt, you're not ashamed because it helps other people realize that if this is you, you can be free because he did it. He's showing you that he did it. He's showing you, he's telling you his life, college educated, smart dude, everything. It has nothing to do with that. Nothing. It doesn't. It doesn't. I was a virtualization engineer. He's also an engineer. You think, oh, those people are smart. It has nothing to do with nothing. And even though engineers counts in ones and zeros, we still didn't know. Still didn't know. Retired parents did not know personal finance is not taught in school. The matrix wants, yeah, it's not ever going to be taught in school this way. Okay. It can't. At least public schools. Private schools, you better believe those schools that you can't afford, not the private schools that the average person can afford. I'm talking about the private schools. Unless you have money, your kids are not going there. I'm talking about, I can only imagine what's taught in those schools. I could only imagine. If I could create a school like that, they probably wouldn't even allow me to do it. But no, then again, they would, because I know it's taught. It's got to be taught in rich schools. It has to be. Has to be. Right. It has to be, because there has to be people to be in the positions to control the flow, not to control the flow, to be part of the actual flow of finance. It has to be. And everybody's human. Everybody dies, so it has to be physical people to replace these people. Taxes makes most work necessary. Yes, taxes are important. Hold on for a quick second, guys. All right, sorry about that. All right, I got to wrap this up. Average person, it says money doesn't exist. People still working. Oh my God, I get it more now. Yeah, they don't. That's why they're chasing it. They don't. They slaves know they're the rat on the wheel, but they don't know they create the wheel and how they're powering the wheel. They don't know that. Average person pays 20% of lifetime income in taxes and even more in interest payments. Yeah, for sure. Jesus, the economy is like, okay, there you go, extreme again, Gabriel. Okay, only 5 states require financial education in public schools. I know. What's the name? Cosmic sent me something on there. I got to get to read that. But anyway, I got to wrap this up. Thank you, everybody, for being part of the show today. Until next time. All right, have a wonderful, wonderful afternoon. All right, later.